to the witnesses for being here. The Clean Water State Revolving Fund and its sister program, the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund, are of vital importance to New York City and New York State and cities around the country, really. The New York City Department of Environmental Protection owns and operates one of the largest wastewater collection and treatment systems in the world, with 96 pumping stations and 14 treatment plants. And while our waterways in the New York area, are cleaner now than they've been in a century. In fact, the Hudson River right now, it's a playground for sports and other activities. There's still so much work to be done. In Upper Manhattan, combined sewer overflow tanks release gallons of dirty water directly into the Hudson whenever too much rainfalls quickly happens. This happens on a regular basis, so anytime you have storms, untreated sewage water is released into the Hudson where people are kayaking and doing water sports. We saw this happen all over the city during Superstorm Sandy as well, when not only rainfall but also storm surge waters overwhelm our system, damage our infrastructure, and dirty our waterways. After the storm, it was determined that part or all of our 14 treatment plants and more than half of our pumping stations are at risk and could suffer more than $1 billion in damage in a single storm or flood. New York has been putting FEMA resiliency funds to work in order to make upgrades to our clean water system, but the Clean Water State Revolving Fund is still so vital for long-term upgrades. A city of nearly 9 million people can witness a great damage to our clean water and environment if we don't invest in maintaining our water infrastructure. The compounding impacts of climate change make this work even more critical. New York City has a wastewater resiliency plan that calls for critical equipment to be protected to the 100-year base flood elevation plus an additional 32 inches to account for sea level rise. But New York and other cities around the country simply cannot meet this challenge without federal investment. So the buck stops here. This is a deep pocket issue, and we must be a full partner. Federal funding through the Clean Water State Revolving Fund will go towards raising low-laying wastewater treatment facilities and other ways to make them more resilient. But even more important, the Clean Water SRF will help make the system greener. New York City would like to upgrade all of our wastewater plants to replace their engines with ones that use cleaner natural gas and even green energy. This will not only make our water cleaner, it will at the same time make our air cleaner by reducing emissions, and it helps to combat climate change by reducing our footprint. So this is a major endeavor, and we need money. And so in an era where we see the White House speaking about budget cuts, and we are here sitting in transportation infrastructure trying to wrestle with a potential major infrastructure bill, what do you recommend about the money, the green money that must come to ensure that we, in addition to some of the measures that have, for example, have been taken in Spokane, what do you recommend that we do to make this happen before the infrastructure in America collapses?
Well, we've been very lucky with the State Revolving Fund on both of the issues you described. Camden City has a combined sewer system, and we have used the State Revolving Fund to upgrade our wastewater treatment plant to make it bigger, to upgrade Camden City's sewer system to allow it to convey more flow to the plant. And we've also greened 100 acres through a green infrastructure program, all funded through the SRF, to capture 100 million gallons of stormwater by soaking it through the ground. And then good begets good. Because we now have 100 acres of parkland that we have to manage, we used an AmeriCorps grant to hire 240 at-risk youth between 18 and 25 to maintain the green infrastructure. So green infrastructure not only has a functional benefit of capturing stormwater, but also greens the city, has those benefits, but also there are green job opportunities. On the green energy side, we're using, so through the SRF, we'll have eliminated combined sewage flooding for up to the 1-inch storm in Camden by the end of 2020. And then for green energy, we are using the SRF again to make our plant completely resilient. We'll be off the grid by the end of 2020 by using the SRF to build a digester facility and a combined heat and power system to turn our sludge, our biosolids, into electricity. So without the state revolving fund, then we could not do that. So we thank the government and the EPA for the state revolving fund and hope that you will reauthorize it and re-up it. And remember, it's a loan program, not a grant. So it really is a hand up, not a hand out. We have to pay it back, but that low interest rate makes the difference.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, sir, for your testimony. Mr. Webster, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Professor, are the rates paid for water and wastewater treatment? Are they way low, medium, too high, or is it a mix?
Thank you for the question. I think the answer depends on where you are and who you ask. I think in many communities, we have what's considered reasonable water and sewer rates, but many people struggle. And I